Hey, hey everybody. Um, this video has a bit of a lag and my my power or my battery on this phone is going kind of low. So this is going to be a quick one, but I'm going to definitely get my point across. Um, I hope that you all are doing well today. I just wanted to share with you some of my darkest spiritual experiences. There have been quite a few, but these are just some of the more memorable ones. And this is always just a urging for everyone to try to stay spiritually in tuned, to get rid of things around you that um, cloud your sensitivity in the spiritual realm. Because just the time that we're in right now in this world, in general, we just need to be more sensitive, um, so that we can know which direction to go in. But I'm going to start off with as a child. So, as a child, more so into my teenage years and well into my 30s, it hasn't happened a whole lot lately, is experiencing hags. Now, where I'm from, we call it a hag riding you or a hag bothering you. Some people call it a haint or a witch or, whatever different terms they have for it, but we call it a hag. Um, Scientifically, it's called sleep paralysis. All right. So when I was younger, I experienced sleep paralysis for a number of years, many, many, many times. Now, the spiritual meaning behind that, I cannot quite put my finger on. It's quite possible that it was because of the house that we lived in. And this is the thing about houses and buildings and structures. You never know what they are built on. Um, and because I was younger, you can never really know what happened in the walls of a building or in the walls of a home before you got there. So those are two different factors that I always thought about when it comes to me having those experiences in that house is, what is this house built on? It was a really old house, and it was owned, the land and the property was owned by my great grandfather, and he married my great grandmother. He wasn't my biological great grandfather, however, he was a Native American or indigenous American. And again, I do not know what that structure was built on, and it probably had a lot to do with what I was experiencing at that time. With that being said, I still own that home. My grandmother died in that home, and so you have that element to it there as well. But now when I go there, when I go to that home, that house, I do feel a pretty heavy I feel a very heavy sense when I get there. It's like, just like a lot is going on. All right, thank you, Dr. Richard, I appreciate it. So another one of my darkest spiritual experiences is during the time I was with my son's father. Now, let me put this disclaimer out there. I was not supposed to be in that relationship. I should not have been in that relationship. That was a very hard relationship. He ended up passing away in a car accident. But over that time we were together, it was a very strenuous, stressful, eventful relationship. He had done a lot. He'd been out in the streets and all of that stuff. But with that being said, during the time we were together, I went looking for him one night for whatever reason. And I went into a club looking for him. And as soon as, when I stepped in the club, right, I could feel the demons. They were looking at me, they were staring at me, and I could tell that I was making them very uncomfortable. Okay. I could audibly hear them. It wasn't just one, because they speak in unison. Like, if you've ever heard of a legion, like it's thousands of them speaking at one time. I could audibly hear them saying, "What are you doing here? You are not supposed to be here." All right. Needless to say, it didn't take me very long to leave up out of there. But again, I wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't my crowd. It wasn't my people. It was his people, his crowd, that did the type of things that he did. All right. So again, I wasn't supposed to be in that relationship. I wasn't supposed to be in that community. I wasn't supposed to be on that road. I wasn't supposed to be in that club. All right. And my spirit was telling me, and they were telling me that I was not supposed to be there. All right. Hi, let's see. Kaput. All right. Buck DeLorean, I don't understand what you're saying. You look like you're getting young men fired from jobs. Asking Unit 7489, I appreciate it. Hi, Gabriella. Shiva, hello. I don't understand. I don't understand the comments, so I'm not gonna read it. And if the comment is disrespectful, I'm just gonna delete you from the channel altogether. I am new. Can you explain what you do? I am part of the CEO of YouTube. What I do, what you mean, as a profession, or what do I talk about on my YouTube channel? But yeah, that's one of my other spiritual experiences, dark spiritual experiences. Some of my other very dark spiritual experiences, depending on how you look at it, because death is the part of life, is actually seeing death. Twice in my life, I have actually seen death as a spirit, as a physical thing. I've seen it, and I've felt it as well. The way that I can explain it was like the essence of a very dark or black bird. All right. I was laying in the bed with my son's father, and his brother had passed away about a year before that. Okay. So I knew it was coming. I felt it was coming because I dreamt about his brother. And in the dream, his brother was trying to give me something. And in Gullah Geechee culture, we are taught that if someone that has already passed away is trying to give you something in a dream, you are never supposed to take it. All right. Because that means they're coming for somebody. That means they want something in return. All right. So he was offering me something. He was trying to give me something for whatever reason. But not long after that, I saw death. My son's father and I were laying in the bed, and he was asleep, sound asleep, peacefully sleeping. But it came to me. I saw it. I felt it. I could feel the wind coming from it. It was like it was flapping, just hovering over me. It was a very, very, very present and in-person entity. And that's the only way that I can explain that. And shortly after that, he did pass away. Now, the second time I saw death again was a couple years before my father passed away. And because I had experienced that before and I had seen that entity before, I asked for more time for him. And he did get more time. I petitioned the Most High for more time for my father to live, and he lived for about another 2 years. The second time I asked for more time, he wasn't granted more time. But, again, I just want to urge to you all the power of your words, the power of you petitioning your creator, your higher power, because, you create that relationship, it will listen. It will listen, because I do truly feel that my father was granted that time because I deeply and sincerely asked for more time for him. But yeah, the second time I saw death was a couple years before my father passed away. It was the same entity. I felt it over me. It was just like hovering over me, like that bird type essence. It didn't look like a bird, but it felt like a bird. It had the essence of a bird, because again, I could feel the wind. It was protruding. But yeah, those were some of my darkest spiritual experiences. If you all have had any, please share it with me. I like to know about these things. I like when people share things like this, um, because sometimes it goes in and out. It depends on what I'm going through in my life. That depends how sensitive I am to what's going on around me. And I like to be sensitive to what's going on around me, whether it's good or dark or good or bad, because that's what's going to help us navigate this life, is to be knowingly going through life, knowing what's around us, what's going on around us, and it's not just a physical world we live in. We live in a very heavy spiritual world. We are spirits living in a physical body, and we must not forget that. There are things going on that we are not aware of. There are things always going on, whether you are asleep or whether you are quote unquote awake, whether you are dead or whether you are alive. It's always going to be going on. All right. So with that being said, that's all I have to add about this topic. Yeah, there you go. Fear no evil. And it's not about fearing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not about fearing. I don't think we should fear, because whether we know it or not, these things are always going on around us. It's just that we cannot see it with our physical eyes. We have to have our spiritual eyes open. All right. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's true. It's true, Ginger. Yeah. So when you ask me if I'm awake or asleep, Ginger, what exactly do you mean? I wasn't ignoring your question. I just quite didn't understand where you were coming from. But if you could tell me right quick before my phone goes dead, I'll try to answer your question. But yeah, 2026, y'all. Um, I was awake. I was awake. I was awake when I saw it. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, was I sleeping and, I dreamt about it? No, I was fully awake. Like I said, my child's father was asleep. He was snoring. I remembered he was in a very peaceful sleep, but I was awake. You're welcome, Ginger. I appreciate the question, and you spending your time with me as well. I really appreciate it. But thank you all. I'm going to go ahead before my phone cuts me off and it goes dead. But I really enjoyed you all. I enjoyed this live and sharing. I look to share more spiritual things as well in the future. And you all have a great day.